Hello everyone, it's Scott Batchelor with NBCM News, and apparently Canada's most wanted now. I'll explain that later on how that works, and you're gonna get a kick out of it. But no, I was at the Regina event there yesterday, and unfortunately was not able to speak. There was too many speakers there yesterday. We got to meet Max Bernier, and well, I've met a lot of the other ones. I was able to meet Laura Lynn Thompson. Unfortunately, a lot of people did cancel. I'm assuming you guys have all heard about Arthur Pollock. He was supposed to be in Regina and then decided last minute not to go, and so now he's actually in jail, unfortunately. So I can't believe that they pulled him over on the side of the road and just tore him out of the vehicle like that. What are we gonna start standing up for, guys? Because I mean, right now you're watching Canada's Most Wanted. I'm taking with a badge of pride, yes. So essentially, I went to film on behalf of NBCM News 2 weeks ago in Regina, and when Chris Sky was there, and everyone went into the mall on the Cornwall Center. So of course I'm going in to film it, right? And so now they got my picture up there in the local newspapers asking to identify me. Well, I guarantee you it went to my local RCMP, and they're like, oh, he's a reporter, and they stopped it there. Yeah, it's been quite an interesting deal for sure. I've worked for NBCM News for about 3 years now. I enjoy getting the story out as best as I can. I got a lot of great footage there yesterday, and I just thought it was funny that I'm Canada's most wanted. Better call Crime Stoppers, guys. This reporter's gone rogue. Oh man, oh man. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how the weeks come. If I have RCMP show up, I'll just have my camera ready and say, "Hey, you're on NBCM News, right?" So I'm not too worried. But I don't think they're going to come anyways. I've noticed the RCMP aren't handing tickets out that I know of yet, unless it's just something you have actually done something wrong. So it makes a huge difference. So I'll give them credit for that. It's only the city police that are causing problems. And of course, Regina Police is famous for having the worst police in Canada other than Vancouver. So anyone who gets rejected from the RCMP detachment, so these RCMP rejects end up stuck working for the police department there. And so you have the people who couldn't get a job with RCMP ending up with the Regina Police Service, or in Vancouver too, because they have a training facility there as well, or close by. So I've lived in Regina for 2 years. I know that the police are horrible. When they're bored, they'll harass anyone for the hell of it. I had and there's two things a police officer fears: one, a lawyer, and second, a reporter. And when I was in Regina, I had a vehicle I just bought, and I faintly said "F the police" on the back. I hadn't had a chance to paint over it. I was working construction, and so I go pull over, and we sat there for about 2 minutes, and all of a sudden this cop comes flying through this residential area, and so we pretty much got out, and I'm like, we better just get back in, because this is seeming kind of silly, right? Because I think you still have some protection if you're inside the vehicle at the time, and I knew not much about the law, right? At the time, this is over a decade ago. And so he comes in, and he's like, oh, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, no, why did you pull me over? Because I was already, stopped, like, we were getting out when you actually came flying through the neighborhood. So I didn't, you technically didn't pull us over, but let's continue. And so then eventually he's like, oh, I'm going to open up the back door. I said, sure, but the construction supplies, and if anything falls out, you have to put it all back. He said, no, I don't. And I said, yes, legally you do. If you do an illegal search and do without my permission, because you don't technically have my permission, I'm cooperating so I don't get arrested. But so anyways, he goes and is like, all right, well, I'm not going to open the back up. Can I just look over your seat? I said, sure, that you can do. And there's nothing but construction supplies in there, right? And old stuff and stuff that had to go to the dump and whatever, right? And so when it came down to it at the end, so I'll make a long story short, he was saying that the reason why he pulled me over was I was driving too slow. So I asked for his badge and ID number as I was laughing. And he's like, why? I said, your badge and ID number, you legally have to present that to me. And he didn't And he's like, why? And I said, well, because my lawyer is going to sue your pants off all the way to the bank. He sued so many lawyers before. And so here we are scrambling looking for a pen. The guy runs to this vehicle, and I've never seen a cop run so fast because he was gone before I could turn my head around. So that was the Regina Police Department, right? So, yeah, if they can make people's lives hell, they will. That's kind of their weirdness. There's a reason why they were RCMP rejects. But anyways, so apparently I'm Canada's most wanted, so I'm going to go with that. That should be interesting, even though I'm just a reporter. But I had to bring that out. Like I said, it was good meeting Max Bernier. I met Laura Lynn Thompson. I've already met Mark Friesen so many times, it's not even funny. But he started to loosen up, and, he came over to me and gave me a handshake this time, right? So normally it was more or less like the look like, get lost kind of thing. I don't know you. Kind of thing. We've known each other for years, right? So I always bug him to come on social network or come on social network and stuff like that. So that's quite interesting. And so another thing is too. Oh, hang on a second here. Well, yeah, no, it is by law. They have to present you with ID and badge number and their name. So, but yeah, no, it's law all across Canada. It's like the whole, you can't go into a church, and that's why they arrested Arthur Pollock on the side of the road, was because they knew they couldn't legally arrest him in the church, even if they had a fake warrant for it. It still was not proper, because so just because a judge makes a comment or signs a warrant it cannot supersede the freedom of Charter of Rights. So this is why it's frustrating, is because all these tickets are going to be thrown out. It wastes so much of the court's time. Why is it that a judge is not ordering that any officer who gives these tickets will be fined? Anyone who gives the orders to give these tickets will be fined. And I guarantee you that would stop that nonsense very quickly. But I mean, I know a lot of these different guys that are going through because I've worked with them for a long time. I knew Chris Sky before he became popular, which was quite interesting. I knew that he was going to get popular, and so that's why we're like, hey, yeah, come work with Canada Social Network, right? But sometimes people have to crash and burn and realize that the social media networks that you're using don't have your best heart in mind. Like Chris Sky just got banned off Twitter, which sucks. But I told him that was going to happen. Canada Social Network is there to provide a place for people to go. And you don't have to make your main home, but you can still keep your other social networks and just post and then share to the other networks. Makes it a lot easier, and that's what we've done, right? But I do have an announcement. I'm actually retiring as CEO of the company for now. I have one of our good directors that's stepping up, and he's going to do this because I'm more interested in doing the reporting. I've done my deal. The other guy's got more resources to work with Canada and more staff. And because of Bill C-10 is why I'm temporarily retiring from Canada Social Network. So essentially, Bill C-10, if you don't know what it is, they're going to take away all freedom of speech online. So we won't be able to have this conversation soon. So this is why I have to do what I have to do to save my company. And it's being moved out of country for now. And it's going to be run by a friend of ours who has been a director of Canada Social Network for over 2 years. Has saved our network over 3-4 times when we've crashed. And sometimes rebuilt it from scratch. So there's a lot of things going on. And it's sad that Canada has to leave, or Canada has to leave Canada for a while. But that's okay. We'll be back with that. And meanwhile, I'm still going to be with NBCM News. I could finish my book and a lot of other things. I'm still going to be a director on the board. But yeah. So this is what I was kind of hoping to go up and announce there yesterday on the stage. It's just like, hey guys, I'm still going to be here. Still going to have a say-so in Canada Social Network. We just have to move it out of country for now because of the stupid Liberal government pushing through Bill C-10, which will give us no option for freedom of speech online. They will penalize us galore online, which is pretty messed up. All across Canada. If you think we're not going into communist Canada, this is worse than communist Canada. This is being fined, being taken out of your home, beaten. You don't think they can't do that? They're already doing it. And we see it coming. We've been planning this for weeks now, and now that almost all the procedures are moved over, I can talk about it. So I have 1 week left as CEO of Canadian Social Network, but that's fine. I enjoy doing the reporting more than anything. I can still run my company from the side, unless they completely cut off communications. Then there's nothing I can do. But at least Kanawha can continue on and continue growing, which is nice. And that's what we want, right? I didn't work 2.5 years on that company just to see it fall because some liberal jackass thinks he knows better than everyone else and that we need to be silenced because we're all standing up and they can't have the truth go out. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not the way this country works. We have a Charter of Rights for a reason. So if you haven't read them yet, they will save your ass more times than you can count. If you ever want to go out to those protests, you have the right to assemble and protest. Doesn't matter what a provincial government tries to change. No law can supersede, I can never get that word right, cannot succeed the freedom of charter and rights. So even if they make it, so like those whole breathing barriers that they make you wear, because those aren't masks, they're breathing barriers. They prevent you from breathing, and they don't work. We heard a specialist yesterday talking about how no one is able to use any form of mask or breathing barrier or even gas mask would protect you from a virus because it's so microscopic that it wouldn't do anything. So why is it that we're wearing them? Because we're being told to. So quit doing what you're told. And the reason why you're being told what to do there is because if you follow the money, China's made trillions of dollars off of selling these crappy masks worldwide. Oops, did I spill the beans? Yes, I did. China is making trillions of dollars a year off of selling those crappy paper masks, and there's coming from other countries now too, not just China, because China couldn't keep up with the order, believe it or not. So now it's other countries as well, and even they're like questioning, why are we selling all these masks? Like, we're supposed to be here protecting the environment. Have you seen the beaches and all that stuff? There's more of these crappy paper masks now that are being thrown out than 10 times more than plastic ever was. And yet we're supposed to be here protecting our environment. I'm all for protecting the environment because my kids deserve a future, but doing it the right way. First, we need to quit allowing these barges to take the garbages out to the ocean. That would be, ding, 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 the first result of stopping all the garbage from going in the ocean, right? Then, second of all, create machines to go and harvest it and recycle it. Then once it's cleaned up, the Coast Guard or anything like that is catching anyone throwing garbage out to sea should be sunk. I know it's still needing to clean up, but it would teach them a lesson. Don't take your fucking garbage out to the ocean and start dumping it out there. Because without the ocean, we don't survive. Now, no carbon tax is going to do that. No green tax is going to do that. So when they're sitting there proposing that, I'm like, well, you're a fucking idiot. Because, you know, I've taken engineering. I've taken a lot of these different courses. I know, you know, I mean, anyone with half a brain could tell you that taxing the people doesn't get you greener property, greener everything, better oceans. And yes, we need to take care of our oceans because that produces about, well, it doesn't so much, it produces a lot of oxygen, but it also reduces about 85 to 95% of the world's carbon. And carbon's not exactly a bad thing because it feeds other animals too. It feeds plants, stuff like that. Natural carbon, like livestock, humans, everything. Animals providing carbon, that's normal. Absolutely. But they want to sit there and tell you that's not normal while they sit there and produce mass amounts of carbon in factories with stuff that we don't actually need. So, anyways, back to the whole point is apparently I'm Canada's most wanted for doing the news. So that's obviously the reason why no one's come to my door. But everyone else apparently in that picture was ticketed, I guess. So there's a guy going around. It was quite obvious. He was pretending to film the stage, and then he was going around filming everyone else. So we were in the paper there, and apparently, if you know who I am, call Crime Stoppers. Apparently, they're offering a reward. Either way, guys. I've had an interesting morning. I got a lot of stuff to clean up, but I couldn't resist bringing that on. That apparently I'm Canada's most wanted, or one of the Canada's most wanted, and it was in a local paper there too. So I should have actually gotten a few copies of that for some fun. But either way, guys, God bless. Have a great day, and see you on Kanad.